Hi, welcome to my channel. In this session number 4, we'll create Azure AI Search Service and define a 52 field index, blob data source, key phrase extension skill set, and indexer, all from the Azure Portal. We'll use the pre-built JSON definitions, which I have uploaded in my GitHub repo, which you can find it in your description. So if you have watched my previous setup or the videos where I'm doing an infrastructure setup, this will be more interesting. This is where our core logic of AI indexing will lie in. So now we have GPT 4.1 deployed. We have PDFs in the blob storage. Now we need to index those PDF files. So we'll create an Azure AI search, which will consist of index, the data source, which will be a blob storage, the skill set, a brain or the logic to index the files, and the indexer, which will run on a scheduled basis to index those files. So by the end of this session, we'll have a 10 PDF files indexed with a full text search plus AI extracted key phrases. So let's go. Search for AI search. Click on create. Select our resource group. We'll name it as Contoso Paint Search. We'll use Central US because while I'm creating this video, East US has a capacity constraints and it's not allowing me to create it. But you would want your index function to be in the same location so that it's faster to index. Click on create, review and create. Let's click on create. So which will start the deployment, which will take few seconds. Okay, deployment is complete. Click on go to resource. Now, once we have created this, let's find for the keys. We'll go to the settings, click on keys, and we'll have primary admin key. So copy this key and store it somewhere. We'll need it for the every REST API call that Azure function makes, as well as to create the index, skill set, and indexer. So let's save it alongside your other keys. So first, let's go ahead and create the data source. Navigate to search management and click on data source. Here you will click on add data source. We'll name our data source as Contoso Paint blob data source. Select the storage account that you previously created. Select the container documents which we created. And then you can select the enable deletion tracking as well, which actually basically does a delete. Whenever a blob is deleted, it will delete from the search as well. And that's it. Yeah, click on create. So this will add our data source for the AI search index. So now search knows where our PDF file lives. Second step, we'll go ahead and create our index. So go to the indexes in the left menu, click on add index. Here we'll use the JSON format because we have a lot of fields. I don't want to manually create it, but I can show you once this JSON is uploaded. You can navigate to the GitHub repo for this particular session, and then there will be an index.json file under the index files. So copy that and paste it over here. So what it will do is basically create index with the name as Contoso Paints index, and it will create all the fields, set the properties, which fields are searchable, which are filterable, and what properties from the documents we want it to be indexed in the Azure AI search. So basically we have around 37 product specific fields like SKU, UPC, product name, brand, finish, etc. And these are all defined. Right now they will still be null until we actually index those. So click on save. And now when the index is ready, all those fields created in a one shot. So you can review those over here when you click on indexes inside the field. So either you can manually add those fields over here, each of those. Since I have already created the JSON, it got automatically inputted with all the properties and everything. Now our next step would be to create a skill set. Skill set is a pipeline of AI skills that run during the indexing. So we'll click on skill sets from the left navigation menu and then click on add a skill set. Right now, we'll just add one skill, key phrase extraction. This is a built-in cognitive skill that pulls important phrases from the document text. We will name that as Contoso Paint skill set. Again, for the same, I have a JSON file available ready into the GitHub repo. So we'll pull that skill set format skillset.json and put it over here. So basically input is our document content, the raw text extracted from the PDF. The output will be our 25 key phrases for each of the document. Things like exterior satin finish, low VOC, these all will land into the content underscore keyword fields. In next session, we'll add a second skill called as Web API skill that will actually call our GPT 4.1 model via Azure function. So let's save it. Once successfully saved, we have a skill set created. Now, next step will be to create an indexer. So indexer is the engine that ties everything together. It connects the data source to the skill set to the index and runs the actual document processing. So click on add indexer and we'll again use a JSON over here. You can get the values of this indexer.json from the GitHub repo. I'll just paste it over here. And you can see that, our indexer name will be Contoso Paint indexer, and the data source name will be blob data source. The index which will be used to index will be Contoso Paint index, and this is the skill set that we'll be using. So this basically will have all the field mappings, which will map the blob metadata to index fields automatically, file name, path, size, etc. The ID field uses the base64 encode on the storage path, and output field mappings take the skill set outputs, key phrases, and write them into the content underscore keywords. Click on save. So once it is saved, indexer will run immediately, and you can see as it is like running, it will start indexing those documents. Okay, so indexer has completed. It successfully indexed all the 11 documents. Let's go to our index, and you can see the document count is coming up as 11. Now let's switch to the JSON view and click on search. So this will retrieve all the 11 documents. As you can see, all this metadata related to the blob has been indexed along with the content keywords. So the keyword extraction skill set that we added, the built-in AI skill set, has extracted around 25 keywords, important keywords from the document. We can run the second query where we can find out top 3 indexed, and we can specify which queries or which fields we want to do query it. So which is working fine as well. So let's run another query where we are getting all the values for the first result. So now you can see all the metadata fields are populated, keywords are populated, but the full context text is there, but other product fields like SKUs, product name, brand, finish, which are in the product specification document, PDFs, we don't have that configured. So this is the gap. The PDF does contain all this information, but Azure AI Search does not know how to extract it from the unstructured text. That's exactly what we'll solve in our next session with our GPT 4.1 custom skill.